Okay, this is a video from my buddy from college. This is his boy swinging here. He's just getting started hitting, and he asked me to take a look at his swing and you know give him any pointers. So, rather than go through mechanics of a swing of a young boy, I'd rather just talk about some things that he can do to help him become a better hitter and maybe enjoy the game a little bit more and want to learn more about hitting. This is just a typical young boy just swinging, taking a good hack there, and having some fun with it. So, I always say I have three rules to hitting. Number one, hitting when you're 12 or under, which I assume this boy is. I mean, his kid looks to be between 8 or 10. He's a big kid. Um, those are some long arms, so that's a big boy. So, number one is intent. Intent's a tricky thing to figure out. If you want to learn what a kid's intent is, look at how he walks into the box. Is he in there ready to swing? So many kids get in there hoping not to get hit. So many kids get in there hoping to be walked. Does he want to swing? A couple of ways to determine that. Does he want to do this when there's nobody, when there is no game? Does he want to go and just hit? If that's the case, then maybe provide him some opportunities to learn more about the game or anything that he's interested in. And that'll help them grow with whatever the task is. In this case, this boy's playing baseball. So, how often does he want to do this on his own? That's a good way to figure out intent. The other way is, is he swinging at everything? Okay, we want to make sure that no matter what we say afterwards, uh, every platitude you heard of, keep your eye on the ball, take your hands to the ball, turn fast, this, that, squish the bug, blah, blah, blah. None of it matters if he doesn't intend to swing. So we have to figure out intent first. Number two is swing as hard as you can. This is very important. No matter how young a boy is or a girl, they need to swing as hard as they can. I've got so many players that come to me at the varsity level with exit velocities in the 60s and low 70s because they never swung as hard as they could, really ever. I had a young catcher, backup catcher this year that, I could tell that he was holding back on his swing, and it wasn't until he let it all go that he was able to make some gains in exit velocity. And the point of swinging as hard as you can is if you're swinging as hard as you can at 8, you'll swing harder at 9, you'll swing harder at 10, 11, 12, all the way up. But if you're just up there with, Johnny Robotic, mechanics, you're not going to get the most out of your muscles and the way they're wired to fire. And on top of that, and perhaps more important, anything you do at 100% is more easily repeatable, both in timing and in mechanics. If I run a 100-meter dash at full speed, my numbers are going to be close no matter how many times I run it. But if I'm asking someone to run a 100-yard dash at 80% effort, their times will change drastically. So there's an example of that. And the last thing I always say is use your body, not your hands. And this is a problem because of these bats. These bats are drop 13s, drop 12, drop 10. Batters growing up now don't have to learn how to hit with their body, and this makes it really hard when they're older and they have to hit those drop threes. You're seeing an example here. He's swinging with all arms because that bat is so light. Okay, not advocating that he get a heavier bat to use in a game, but it wouldn't be the end of the world to give him a nice wooden bat to learn how to hit in practice. Okay, he's definitely using all his hands here, and instead of using his body, and we can talk about why later in this video. But I just wanted to go over a couple other things real quick about getting him started. When you're having kids learn how to play, it's always better to kind of trick them into learning by giving them tasks to do. A lot of guys that I give lessons to will play games like hit this target, hit that target. I could explain to them why it's important to hit line drives, all the ins and outs of why line drives are better, or I could tell them to, hit the L screen or hit the ball off of a cone, and then they'll do all they can to try. You should see their eyes light up when I say, hey, we're going to try to knock this glove off of this stick, and they'll try like heck to do it. And while they're on their way to knocking that glove down, they're learning, different, aspects of hitting that are great. I mean, being on plane with the ball, flexion at impact, front side pull. They're doing all those things to hit that stick, and they don't know it. So it's called implicit learning, and it's the most effective way to teach young kids how to hit. The first thing that I would say about getting him started would be to, go through those three keys to hitting. Use your body, is number 3. Swing as hard as you can, number 2, and intent. Let's start with intent, which is the desire to hit the ball. We want to make sure that they're going to swing. So when we work with young kids, especially as young as this, I won't let them take pitches. They have to swing no matter where the ball is. Okay, so no matter where the ball is thrown, there is no ball. They have to swing. Everything's a strike. We call it the kill zone. Okay, strike zone's an arbitrary thing decided by the umpire or the moment or how old the kids are or if the umpire has a date after the game. But the kill zone is anything the kid can hit. Okay, and hit hard. So we just try to say, hey, this ball's coming, you hit it, and that'll help them build intent. The second piece of that puzzle is we want them to hit the ball out in front. And you'll see in this swing, he waits a little bit. We want them to hit the ball off the front foot at stride foot plant, okay? And this is stride foot plant. When that foot comes up and comes down right there, okay? The swing starts when that heel slams down. See right here, he's got his toe in the ground, and then his heel will come down right there. That is when the swing officially begins, okay? We want to make contact with that ball right off the front foot there. So this ball is going to pass that plane and get deep when his bat comes through, okay? We want contact to be here at the earliest, preferably right about, I don't have the frame, but a little bit in front of that front foot, okay? No matter where it is, inside or out. That's an old, that's one of the things that people talk about and they get wrong about impact position. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So number one, no take. Number two, hit the ball in front of the plate. That'll take care of intent. That'll go a long way to helping your boy progress through hitting. Again, if this is something he wants to do. And how do you know that? Well, does he want to do it when there's no game? And, is this something that he talks about? Is he having fun doing it? So play games with him like that. No take. He has to hit everything. If he hits the ball, you get a point. He gets a point. If he misses, you get a point. And then move on to, okay, hit the ball out in front. Pull the ball, hit the ball to the left side of the cage, you get a point. Hit the ball to the right side, I get a point. Stuff like that. Make it fun, make it competitive, make a game out of it. Trick them into learning. Number two, swing as hard as you can. That's easy. I tell the kids, when I give lessons sometimes, I don't care if you hit the ball. If you swing as hard as you can, that to me is good enough. And this will foster a couple of things. Most importantly, it's more fun. Kids are going to have more fun hitting the ball as hard as they can. And just ask them when they're playing wiffle ball in the backyard, are they trying to move the runner over by hitting a ground ball, or are they trying to hit it over the house? 9 times out of 10, the kid's going to say they're trying to hit it over the house. So keep it fun. It's still a game. Swing as hard as you can. There's so many implicit benefits to it. We talked about bat speed earlier. We talked about consistency with mechanics earlier. There's just so many positives to giving it all you got when you're ripping it. The other thing to think about with that is kids can't take 10 pitches in a row, boom, 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 and swing as hard as they can all the time. So we want to make sure they have proper rest between the swing to make sure that they're swinging as hard as they can. We want their 10th swing to be every bit as violent as their first. And that's a common mistake that a lot of coaches make. They'll throw these rapid-fire BP sessions, and it's crazy because by the time the kid gets to the 5th swing, he's swinging pretty slowly. And that's counterproductive, okay? The last one, use your body, and that's kind of where I wanted to get specific with a drill here. If you have a medicine ball, great. If you have a punching bag at home, great. If you have a Wave Master at home, which is a standalone punching bag, great. Have the boys hit it with a bat, and if they don't have a Wave Master or the all those things I asked, a basketball's fine. Have them hit a basketball. The point is it's got to be heavier and bigger than a baseball. It has to have more mass. And it has to provide some kind of pain if they don't hit it with flexion. They need to have their elbows flexed at impact and their wrists in a palm up, palm down position. Okay? And that's not happening here, but I'll send you another video of where that does happen. And one of the ways to get there is through deliberate practice by having them hit something heavy over and over again, and it's going to hurt a few times because the body's not used to it. You'll see your son's hand here rolls over right there. We don't want that top hand to ever roll over, and the only way to train him to do that is to have him hit something heavy right at impact. So his body will adjust. We call it pain being the best teacher, the hand on the stove metaphor. You put your hand on the stove, it hurts, you never do it again. The body hits a heavy ball that way, it hurts, it won't do it again. It'll do it less and less to the point where it gets to where it needs to be. Okay? Very, very important. So that's a nice little drill to help with that. And I think if you do those couple of things, you'll be on your way. You can give some drills to help them use the ground, but really those three are the basics for hitting under 12U. And if I had a fourth rule, I tell the kids this, if I had a fourth rule, because this is a little bit more advanced and there's a lot of high school players that don't do this, it would be keep your head over your feet towards the plate. There has to be some posture. So if the boy was facing away from us, the body would look like that, okay? They'd be over the plate as opposed to straight up and down, which he is right here, okay? This head would be over the plate more, and I can't draw that because of the angle that he's at, but if we were looking from behind the umpire, we want the body to be over the plate, okay? Maybe not that much, but like that, okay? We want that nice bend in the hips there to let us know that we're hitting on two planes. There's a lot of other things we can talk about later, but those three basics, those three rules, and a couple of things that I mentioned along the way should be enough to get him started. The no-take BP, hitting the ball out front, hitting targets, and hitting the heavy ball or the Wave Master or heavy bag, punching bag would be a great start. If you have any further questions, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. I'll be happy to help out. I hope he really enjoys the sport. Love it. Best sport on earth, and best of luck. That's it.